Everybody, and welcome to Money TV. I am your guest host, Michael Manahan, sitting in for Donald Baillargeon today. And in this segment, I've got with me William Sawyer of the Sawyer Group. He is our resident expert on everything and anything to do with the oil and gas industry. Bill, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it. It's glad to be here.
Well, oil and gas is something that I think it confuses everybody just a little bit. It's 1 minute we're producing more oil than we could use. The next minute we're importing oil from all over the globe. The prices jump up and down. What is really happening in the oil and gas industry today from your perspective?
Well, today what's happening is mostly affected by the administration and by OPEC. OPEC is saying they're going to do another cut, which will drive the prices up, which is what they want. And the administration is saying you should invest in oil and gas, which is causing the prices to go up also. And rig count is down right now a little here in the United States, which means that we're not drilling as much. And out here in California, the import are 58% of what's used by the refineries because there are no pipelines going across the Rocky Mountains from the other areas.
So while we have other parts of the United States exporting oil, we here on the West Coast are importing oil because we can't get the oil that other producers across the U.S. are producing. Is that accurate?
That's very accurate. That's very accurate. And it also has to do with gas. Natural gas is the same way. But about 58% right now, maybe it may be as high as 65% that's being imported because of regulations here in California.
That's crazy. And is oil production in California, is it increasing, is it steady, or is it decreasing?
It's mostly steady. And it's steady because of the old fields that are there that produce a marginal amount of oil. And I'd say by that, the low production, 1 to 5 barrels a day. But it could be more. It could be a lot more. This state could produce as much oil as they needed.
What is the consumption side of oil like? Because, I've got a colleague of mine who's he's convinced that every one of us needs to be driving an electric car, and we need to be doing it tomorrow. If he had his way, he'd have the government take all of our gas cars away from us and force us to buy an electric car this week. With all of the electric cars now on the road, is the demand for oil decreasing?
Not really. It's still around about 20 million barrels a day here in the United States. The problem is not the cars. The problem is all of the other things, the plastics and the home goods and everything that's produced. Those won't go away. I mean, you can buy all the electric cars you want, but they won't go away. Not only that is the trucks on the road are not moving toward electric very much. It's mostly still diesel, and we have to produce a lot of oil for diesel. The other thing that's happening is that there aren't many, there's a bad need for truck drivers. We could increase the number of trucks on the road by about 20 to 30% if we had the drivers. Right now, we don't have the drivers.
But it seems that's happening in every industry. I do independent consulting. I talk to a lot of business people, and whether it's mechanics, whether it's service people, whether it's construction workers, everybody seems to be screaming for workers. And we see that the unemployment rates are significantly low. The brakes that the Fed has tried to put on inflation by jacking up the interest rates just does not seem to have affected the labor market. What is going on out there that we're not seeing significant increases in unemployment?
Well, it's twofold, and it's actually two-sided. On the one side, we're seeing that a lot of people are asking for employees, and we see a lot of job offers out there. On the other hand, a friend of mine applied for a job the other day and was one of 9,000 people that applied for that job.
Wow,
9,000.
9,000?
So that means either the people are unemployed, they're self-employed, or they just want to move from the job they currently have. And I believe that's happening a lot in America. People are wanting to get away from the job. A friend of mine recently left their job because they weren't training the person, and they weren't. They were just really nasty to them. I'm really surprised that what's going on out there in the market, in the employment market, and I've never believed employment figures. The government has strange ways of calculating employment figures. It depends on what administration's in office.
Yeah, I would have to completely concur. It's like when they come up with the inflation numbers, nothing I'm buying is going up at 5 and 6 and 7%. The stuff I'm buying is going up at 20 and 30%. But Bill, just on a final note, I know we got a lot of investors watching the show. Is this a good time to be in the market buying oil and gas stocks?
Oh, amen. Not only in the market to buy oil and gas stocks, but to make direct investments if you have the money in oil and gas. You always want to be in there first. You don't want to be a follower in oil and gas. You don't make any money that way. You want to be the first in there, and you want to get up front, and you want to get there before anybody else. And that's what we did years ago when I had a company on the Amex. We got there first in several areas.
Okay, so there you have it from the expert, Bill Sawyer of the Sawyer Group. If you've got some capital out there, you might consider putting some of it into the oil and gas industry. Bill, thanks very much for joining me today.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you, Don Baillargeon.
Okay, just a reminder, this is Mike Manahan sitting in for Don Baillargeon on Money TV.